hopefully people can hear me, but Bart Dude is leading. We're really sorry about these technical difficulties, not sure what's going on. But Bart Dude is still out in front with half race distance gone. We'll just have a look and see who has stopped. The top 6 haven't stopped yet, with Goings the first of the drivers that have stopped. So he is ahead of Jack Gooden at the moment. Jack Pearson even, sorry. With Wace in 9th, Dom in 10th and Mr John in 11th at the moment. With Bossman Sean in 12th, Mike in 13th and Jacko in 14th, who's just lost his front wing at the final corner. That was a bizarre incident. Not quite sure what happened there. You go, John?
Yeah, it's the second time he did that, 'cause he's done it at the end of lap 1 as well. We just dropped out of the last corner, hit the wall and just parked it for a second. Some major stuff that happened in this race so far, just to give you a rundown. So on the first lap we had the two Haas who were running second and third come together up in the middle of sector 3 at Waste, and Bossman Sean just squeezed each other into the wall. Both wrecked their races, plummeted down the field. Jack Pearson, now second in the championship, made a tactical decision to pit early for the harder tyres to get to the end and to get a clean circuit, but that has not quite gone to plan for him, as he's actually second out the guys that have stopped behind Goings, who's stopped a bit later. Meanwhile, at the moment we've got Joe and Chiappelli in the pits, and I think they'll come up just behind the two early stoppers. And you know what, in fact Chiappelli's come up miles in front of them.
Wow.
They've sandwiched the two early stoppers in. We have Joe in 8th, Jack in 7th, going 6th, Chiappelli in 5th, and out the 4 yet to stop. Bartwood is 11 seconds clear. Solanix, Baz a third, 4.5 seconds off, and Michael Kenny a whopping 28.4 seconds off the lead. So it's going to be a comfortable pit and lead still for Bartwood, who's going to win his 4th race in a row as it stands, but I better not say that with certainty just yet after Japan, where, well, we saw what happened on the last lap, and the leader changing hands in the last lap due to a game crash for the leader, Jack Pearson, gifting the win to Bartwood. Anyway, into some action lower down the field. Bossman Sean just making his way past Mr John for P11, as Jacko is just... he seems to be trundling around with no front wing, which I think is a bit weird. He's also just behind the leader, so he's been lapped as well. Mike Moon also lapped down in 14th. He's had a disastrous night so far, disconnected from the first race, down at the back in the second. And Chiappelli has come out, well, Chiappelli's just coming around the last corner as is Michael Kenny pits, so a good performance so far for Chiappelli, as Jacko finally retires from the race.
Yeah, but how long do you expect? Do you think Bartwood will be in this lap to go on the super softs? You would think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's around about lap 7, lap 8 when the tyres start to drop off. It's worth pointing out, judging by fuel, he's actually quite low on it. Like, he's burning it through, so he's clearly decided to go long, get a big gap, and then just coast it home on the harder tyre when he decides to pit. I think as it stands right now, he'll come out between Bazza and Chiappelli, but very close to the back of Bazza, who is 16 seconds clear of Chiappelli, so there's a massive gap of air that Aiden would slot perfectly into and still have the net lead, as it looks like he's coming in now. And indeed he is.
Make sure you get it slowed down into the pit entry, and it looks as if he's done that pretty well. Hasn't got a penalty, so he has done it well, but should be an easy... well, he should easily come out in front of Jack. He will come out in front of Jack Pearson, so it's just to see Sir Lane behind him pits as well.
And so is Bazza in
so
third.
does Bazza, so...
Just not even going to lose the lead here.
No. I wonder how...
Anyway, Aiden's stop has gone well. He's at the pit exit line now as he hits the power down. And Chiappelli's not even coming out the last corner yet. There he is now. He will take second.
Yeah, but Bartwood went from the opposite of what Jack Pearson did, and it worked for Aiden at the moment. I keep saying at the moment because this is F1 2017 and pretty much anything can happen, especially with the streams, but good to have you back, guys. Sorry about the technical difficulties, not sure what was going on, but we are back and that is all that matters, Jean-Luc Taylor.
Indeed, it was a bit of a weird one with the game just not playing ball with us, but we've managed to get back on top of things, thankfully, and bring you the end of this race. It's a race that I think pretty much has been led in its entirety from pole by Bartdude. A dominant performance so far. He's got an 8-second lead over Chiapelli. He's on the far fresher tyres and should be able to safely bring it home.
Sorry.
You would imagine.
Yep, sorry Jean-Luc Taylor, but we've got a little bit of a crazy battle going on here between Waste Dom and Bossman Sean for that 8th place. 9th place even. And Bossman Sean is up the inside, but can Mr. John go up there as well? Oh no, there's contact. And here comes Michael. Can he now get John? Nope, as Mr. John decides to, you know, cut that whole corner, but we didn't see that. But yeah, this is some good stuff down the tail end of the field, Johners.
Yeah, indeed. We've just got an interesting scrap for 6th between Joe and Bazza, but that's not the one we're going to focus on for now. We're going to have a look down here as Dom looks to be shaping up a move, and he decides against it for now, and he will stay in P10.
Yeah, and you've got Mr. John right on the back of these two.
And it's worth pointing out there's a fight for 3rd between Goings and Sirlane. Sirlane having a look down the inside, and he's going for it. There's slight contact. Goings back in, just steps out, and Sirlanix makes the move and takes P3 of him. Sirlanix on the far fresher tyres on the reverse strategy, and we got yellow flags as Dom is off and facing the wrong way. There must have been contact with Bossman Sean while we were looking at the battle for 3rd. It's all just started to kick off here at the end of the race. And as always, you turn away from one battle for a second to look at another, and the other battle decides to kick off.
Yeah, it's good that it's all kicking off now, to be honest. The guys can actually see it. So, yeah, we've got, what, 4 laps to go now. As Dom and, oh, there we go, Jack Pearson with, I'm assuming he's been cutting too many corners, and there we go, he gets a penalty as predicted. So at the moment it looks as if he will fall back behind Bazza and Joe. Maybe not quite Waste at the moment, well maybe Waste actually. So this could be an absolute disaster again for Jack.
And Goings in 4th has just got a penalty of 3 seconds, so and now Bossman Sean's gone off at in 10th place. Has he had contact with Mr. John? Oh dear.
You would think so. Mr. John seems to be in the
Well,
wars
he
now.
seems to be unscathed.
Yeah.
So, he's just caught the wall himself, and Aiden gets a penalty from the lead.
Yeah.
Good thing he's 9 seconds clear.
Yeah, I was going to say that's not too much of an issue, unless he does it a couple more times. As Bazza is going up the inside of Jack Pearson, and he looks to have got the move done. What is going on with Jack Pearson?
I think you'll find it's probably the super soft starting to wear out, having been on him since the 2nd lap, compared to Bazzi, who's only been on the ultra soft for a couple of laps. I was going to say hyper soft there, but that's not quite here yet. But yeah, 5th place for Bazza, and with Goings' penalty and the faster pace, 4th is still up for grabs for him there. And Sirlanix is now catching the back of Chiapelli in 2nd as well. So, quite a few interesting battles still yet to be decided in the top 10, as Michael Kenny and Bossman Sean are both in the pits. And it looks like Mike Noon in last is disconnected yet again.
Yep.
It's worth pointing out, I think both cars are also serving penalties.
Yeah, and there you go. Chiapelli gets a 3-second penalty now. Bit of a shame for Luca. He's doing a really good job up there in 2nd, but unless Sir Lane's got a penalty, which I don't think he has, then he will finish.
He hasn't.
No, looks as if at the moment at least Chiapelli will finish in 3rd. That will still be a really good result though, as Sir Lane sets the fastest lap and closes now right up to the back of Chiapelli. But they're a whopping 10.5 seconds behind Aiden. Aiden is absolutely bossing this race.
And yeah, ever since the stop, he's got even further ahead.
Yeah, maybe.
It's worth pointing out, even... Oops, I apologise. Even though he started on the Ultra Soft compared to the cars behind on the Super Softs, it's just put him further and further clear of the rest of the field. As Jack gets yet another penalty, which will, as it stands, I think it'll put him down to 8th place behind Wace, who crashed on that one, and his teammate Joe. As Bossman Sean in 13th gets a penalty. He's trying to overtake the leader. I don't believe it.
Yep, I think Bossman...
I've just come to look at Bossman Sean, and he's trying to go around the outside of the race leader. He's actually eyeing it up.
Bossman Sean, what are you doing? I can't imagine Aiden's very happy in that car right now. Oh!
And he's actually in a sandwich as a penalty for Joe, and Zadanek still stuck behind Chiapelli at the end of the penultimate lap. Mike does the right thing and lets it go, and Bossman Sean doing just Bossman... Oh, was it Bossman Sean?
Yeah,
Bossman Sean doing Bossman Sean things and crashing.
I don't quite understand.
Oh, hang on. Oh, no, I thought there was an accident. Oh my goodness. Chiapelli and Zadanek's fighting. I thought one of them made a mistake, and, well, one of them did. Zadanek's skidding wide because of the stricken Haas and losing position, but he takes it back.
Yep.
And weirdly, on my screen, Chiapelli is not using DRS. That's interesting.
Mike has been disqualified. Okay.
I think he's just had a nightmare race, really. It's all got a bit wrong for him. But it's worth pointing out, Chiapelli down the straight, at least according to my indicator, he was not using DRS despite it being available to him. That's a very interesting one. And also another interesting one, Mercedes P6, P7. One catching the other.
Oh.
Are we going to hear a interesting radio message?
Oh, that would be very interesting, especially with Jack being in second in the championship. Can't imagine.
But it's
on you.
It's worth pointing out anyway. Jack's got so many penalties, and I don't see Joe having one. So Joe's got to be ahead regardless.
Yeah, good point. But we're going to the front now, and Aiden is coming around the last couple of corners. Absolutely dominated that race. You can hear him just gently pressing that throttle pedal. Does not want to spin on the last couple of corners. But here he comes. Maybe Scotland didn't reach the World Cup, but Aiden has definitely shown his hand here at the Russian Grand Prix and takes victory. What a stunning drive there from the Scotsman. Sirlane will hold on for second. Doesn't have any penalties, so even if Chiapelli does get past, Chiapelli third at the moment, Goings in fourth, Baza in fifth, and there we go. Joe has already got past Jack. Did we miss that?
That's interesting. They did miss it. I wonder if Jack Carter got a bit of damage on the front wing, by the way. I'm just wondering if Jack's tyres just gave up the ghost at the end, as Wace has run out of fuel across the finish line in 8th. Mr. John's all the way down in 9th, only on the back straight now, so it'd be a while before the end. And
yeah, that was
an intriguing race there. That monster midfield.
Yeah, at least
split in strategy didn't quite pay off for Jack, who I think he was third or fourth. Well, he was third at the end of lap 1. The two Haas just came together. He was third. He was having a look at the inside of Zadanek as the Mercedes have just tag teamed the race winner after the flag. I do not believe that. Jack and Joe have just taken Bartdude out on the slowdown lap. Get the noise in. Carucci's on it again. Oh, dearie me.
Yep,
but yes, a bit late for that.
Going to the stewards after the race, that one. What's he doing? He took me out.
They'll be going in to the steward's office to Mercedes.
Nicely done.
Anyway, here's the podium.
Yeah, so Aiden takes the winner's trophy after pretty much, yeah, he didn't even have any challenges in that race really. But that he'll further, he's having a really good night, Sean. Look, he'll extend his championship lead even further now. With Jack finishing in 8th, I think, if I'm right.
Jack all the way down the field, yeah. Disastrous race for him in Russia. 7th in the end, actually, after the penalties, because good grief, look at that. Only one. So thanks. Doing a great job there in second, have to be said. That was the fourth win in a row for Aiden, and he's seventh this season out of the first 11 races. It's incredible. I think he only took the championship lead tonight, though. But there we are. Quick rundown. Bardude winning from Sir Lennox. Giapelli going to fourth. Bazza fifth, ahead of the team Mercedes of Joe and Jack. Waze in eighth. Mr. John ninth. Dom in 10th. Michael Kenny 11th.
There we go.
12th, I believe, was Bossman Sean. And 13th, Michael Kenny, I think it was. I might have got that a bit mixed up there. Kind of too busy talking about what we just witnessed and the championship ramifications, but there we are. We do apologise for the stream going down during the race there, and thankfully we got it back up in the last few laps where the action actually started to pick up, because while it was down, not much really did happen. It was just a few cars split apart by a few seconds across the field. It all got close and interesting at the end, as we now go to Britain, the home of Formula One, for round 12 of this TGP2 season. That's very quickly becoming one where you'd have to say Aiden is taking control.
Yeah, and going by previous form, he's pretty handy around Britain as well, so unless we get a bit of rain, I think Aiden might be up there for this one as well, but this is TGP2 and anything can happen. Hopefully though, the stream will stay up. That's all I'm hoping for at the moment. As we are now getting ready to head down to Silverstone. And I think my game might be very slow here. And there we go, we're finally loading up.
It sounds like it's a genuine PSN issue tonight rather than just a game, so
yeah,
I'd say it's 50-50, esports ready and all.
Good. That makes me feel better. That was
yeah, nice. Just got the confirmation there about that with PSN. Can't say I've had any issues on my side for once, which is weird because there were minor issues in the last few weeks, but it is what it is, and here we are then. So would it be a wet British Grand Prix in the middle of a weird heat wave here, as we said? Nearly touching 40 degrees on Friday down on the south coast of England, which is just terrifying personally. But bright blue sky at the circuit of, well, I was about to say circuit of Silverstone, the Silverstone circuit, of course. We're not in Europe. No, it's not like Circuit de Catalunya. But here we are then before qualifying, and I think we'll let you take a guide of the lap for us.
Just before we do, well, you may as well say that now while we still are in Europe, so you may as well just, the circuit of Silverstone. So we will go on board, we'll try and catch Aiden. Not Wace, Aiden, where are you, Aiden?
Aiden's gone off!
Aiden is off, wow, okay. We were on board there with Aiden actually, and he's just lost it at turn 1, wow, okay. So there was me.
It's just like that.
Okay, right.
Yes.
We'll ride on board then with Bossman Sean, who had a bit of a disaster last time out in Russia, but he's going through Brooklands here. It's absolutely, I love this corner. Takes you swiftly onto Luffield. A nice sweeping corner here. Takes you onto the international pit straight. This is where the race used to start back in the day. As we'll go on board with him, let's see if he's absolutely flat out through Cops here. Yep, not even a slight lift.
Just about.
And heading down to, got to be the favourite section of the whole F1 calendar, Maggots, Beckett's, and through now into Chapel, I think this is. And now we're heading on to the Hangar Straight. Just such a lovely fast flowing circuit. We definitely need to keep this one on the F1 calendar, that's for sure. As now, he's well committed there into Stoke, but he's ran a bit wide. That might invalidate his lap. It could invalidate his lap there as we get into this final tricky section here. And now we head up to the line. Let's see if it has invalidated his lap time. It hasn't. Wow, okay, there we go. Bossman Sean takes quite a surprising, has to be said, pole position, Jonas.
Yeah, very, well, quite surprising there. Haas both looking very good on that lap, with Way high up the order for the most part. I don't know where he actually finished, but it's almost... Oh, he's plummeted down the field in the end, it turns out. So interesting tyre call by Erland and Sirlane again. Very close to the front on the harder tyre. Jack up there in third, right back at the sharp end of the field at the exact same time, but dude messes up and ends up at the back. You just can't write a script like it. The top 8 within 6 tenths as well, very close.
Wow.
So it could be up for an exciting race, and I have received confirmation that it's going to be a wet Grand Prix.
Oh, that makes... Oh, that's even more interesting then. Why wouldn't Sirlane and Erland go on the super softs then? That's... Unless it's going to start off. But I don't understand that, but we'll wait and see what happens. Won't be too long now.
I'm going by my sources at
Oh,
Sayre
there we
Sports,
go.
and they are confirming. Oh, goodness me, that is wet.
So much for your heat wave, John Luke Taylor. What, I take it I've brought the weather. I've brought the weather with me.
Thankfully. I'll be out dancing in it, I think, considering how the heat wave's been recently.
You can see...
So, wet Grand Prix.
Yeah.
That's going to turn everything on its head.
You can see the spectators on the wing there, they're sort of clapping at the rain. They're like, "Yay, water! Woohoo! Look at this!" But yeah, it's like the proper F1 season. One race, you get Aiden winning, the next race he's down at the back crashing out. So yeah, be interesting to see how this one unfolds. But oh, jeez.
What are the tyres? Just have a quick look.
Yep, there we go. And
Full
it's
wet.
yep, lights out and away we go. I think Bossman Sean gets a good start, but we've got quite a bit of movement in the midfield there. But Goings and Bossman Sean, Goings has taken the lead. Oh, and they're off. They're all
wide.
Oh,
there's a Ferrari up at the background.
And Jack Pearson, Jack Pearson takes the lead.
Bossman Sean's all the way down to 9th.
Yeah, dreadful start there.
Crazy
from
start.
Bossman Sean, but Jack Pearson has got the lead, but Goings could challenge him down into the Brooklands corner, but he backs out of that one. Let's see what's going on down the field here. Let's have a look. We've got Mike Noon up to 4th, just behind Chiapelli, but
Jack's run wide and lost the lead to Goings. He's lost second, I think. Chiapelli trying to go around the outside. He's going to get a better run out of there. And yeah, Jack. Oh, and he's caught the back of. Oh, it's all gone wrong for him. He's plummeting down the field fast there, down to 6th. It looks like. Well, Aiden has not had a great start. He's only gained a couple of places, up to 12th. It's going these Chiapelli through Maggots and Beckett's.
yeah, let's see if we've got any dramas going through here. It's quite tricky through this complex in the rain. But right now it seems to be everyone's got through there pretty cleanly. But Chiapelli is challenging Goings into Stowe. Oh, tags! Oh no!
I think Goings might be at fault there. I think he should have left the room for Chiapelli. He would have known he was there, and he's just slammed the door shut as Chiapelli plummets to last place. He's only just spinning back around the right way now. It's ruined his Grand Prix. You'd have to say, maybe some might say, well, the Red Bull should have backed out of it, but from the camera angle I was looking at, as Chiapelli's now spun off again.
Oh, disaster.
A disaster for him. You'd have to say that Red Bull, he had every right to go for a move there. Yes, it was the opening lap. Yes, there would have been more time to plan a move or something, but he had the run, he had the inside line, and he had his nose chopped clean off.
Yeah, Chiapelli was definitely entitled to go for that overtake. As we see, who's this, Sirlane and Mike Noon battling for that second place. Sirlane is now in the Force India. It was in the Renault last race, was he not? Or it was one of the races tonight anyway. But they are challenging each other now on the run down into Cops. Oh, don't be going side by side here, boys.
Oh no, not in this weather.
No.
You may be brave, but you can't be that brave.
So yep. Are you going, John? Look Taylor. Can you see anything down the field?
I can see Bossman Sean and Jacko side by side coming into Maggots, and well, Jacko backing out there as Bossman Sean takes 11th place. Aiden has slowly risen up the field. He's now up to 10th. He did start 16th. He was 12th during that one. He gained a place to Chiapelli, and he must have got past Jacko, who's now just plummeting down the field. To be fair, I think he's got the Van Dorn effect of an absolutely atrocious car, and just it doesn't even look like he's trying, to be honest. To be fair with you. Meanwhile, Chiapelli, I think, has actually had to come in for a pit stop. Or no, that's just me getting misled by the layout of the track. He's actually down the back straight. He's going sets the fastest lap with a 2-second lead over Mike Moon.
Wow.
And he's followed closely by Sir Lanix and Jack, who is looking like he had a better round through turn 1. And, well, he's not going for a move there, I don't think.
No, but obviously Jack will be pushing to claim back some of the lost points, but he needs to be careful in these conditions. It's not worth throwing it off the track, especially when Aiden's down in 10th, so he's got a bit of a conundrum, Jonas. What does he do? Does he go for it? Does he hang back? What do you think he'll do?
If I was Jack, that and my title rival was down the field, well, I'd have to think firstly, A, my title rival is quick and he will probably make his way through. And secondly, that considering the way the race is going to pan out, this, unless it suddenly dries up, which we can't know for sure, you're going to not pit, so you can't really take an advantage of jumping him in the stop or whatever. So really, you've got to go for it. You've got to get every position you can, but he ain't going to do it like that as he runs off. And, well, he'd be lucky not to get a penalty there, to be honest.
No.
But that's how easy it is to get it wrong in the wet conditions.
Yeah, just as you were talking about him going for it, he decides to go for it off the circuit, but doesn't look as if he's got a penalty, so we've got a yellow flag. It looks as if it's Bossman Sean. And where has he gone off? Where is that?
That is the Exeter Chapel onto the Hangar Straight. Well, they say water is wet. They also say Bossman Sean, you sit in the wall.
I wondered what you were going to say there.
I wasn't considering Yeats, I swear.
I thought you were about to say Bossman Sean's wet as well. I was like, oh, okay.
Where are you
going with this?
No. Anyway, meanwhile, Jack having a look at the inside of Sir Lanix for third, potentially. Maybe, well, I'll tell you what, Mike is definitely not on the same pace as the two behind him. Although he is comfortably quicker than Wace at fifth, as Bossman Sean gets a drive-through penalty for spinning the pits. Water sweat, the grass is green, and there's a Haas getting it all wrong as he now retires.
Yeah, but
Sir Lanix having a look down the inside for P2, but not going to manage it there.
No, but Jack Pearson's now right on the back. In fact, he runs a bit wide on the exit there. That won't help his run. But you've got to say, Sir Lane is looking quite racy on the back of Mike.
I can also tell you, there is a
Jarno
Jarno Trulli train out there with Erland in 6th, all the way down to Aiden in 10th, just nose to tail, pretty much.
Oh, wow.
And, well, I say that, Wace isn't really put on the Wace, really, because they're 5th down to 11th.
So it's a Wace train, choo-choo, all aboard, wow, nice slide from Erland, wow, that was a nice save. You'll need to see that on stream, that was an epic save there. But yeah, as you say, from 5th right down to Aiden in 10th. So this could be good for Aiden with all these guys being so close.
Joe's just gone up well, I think he's barged his way past James there, and Bazza also took advantage and took a position. Although for Aiden, that does mean his teammate is now right in front of him.
And he's got past him.
And now his teammate is now behind him as he takes 9th position. And you'd have to say he could easily get these two in front as well. So they're squabbling like petty school children on the playground over the last marble.
Okay.
I don't know where that analogy came from. It's probably terrible. But anyway, meanwhile, Erland have a look at Wace for 5th now. And Jack, Sir Lanix and Mike still nose to tail.
Yep, just waiting for something to happen here. As I say that, Bazza is falling down the field again. Sorry, Jean-Luc Taylor, there you go.
No, that's okay. Yeah, Aiden up to 8th. I was just going to say the exact same thing. So Aiden taking another position and his teammate following through with him. As you'd have to say, sooner or later, one of the top 4 have got to make a move. Well, 2nd, 3rd and 4th really. That little train there, one of them's got to make a move and try and get up the field, as Michael Kenny's now passed a P14 by Chiapelli, who's so far back, and it is a real shame for him because he had every chance of winning this race early on there.
Yeah. It's like you
one
said.
Thing I have noticed. Sorry, I'll let you carry on that.
Yeah, like you said though in the last race, you know, anything can happen. Your luck changes from race to race. So yeah, it's a shame for Bossman Sean. Started on pole and is, well, out of the race.
Indeed. Something of interest I did notice on the last lap was Goings was only 1.6 clear of Mike having come out of Stowe, but by the time they got down the Wellington straight, the gap had built back to just under 3 seconds. So Goings definitely confident in the first part of the lap, as we see there. You could just see, he just seems a lot more committed through turn 1 and 2, and able to handle the car a bit better than Mike, Sir Lennox and Jack, who is now having a look at the inside. He's not going to be able to make it there. He had a look, but the way of the track just doesn't help him there in that section. Meanwhile, Erland's still stuck behind Wace, who's just a mobile chicane at this point, near enough. Yeah, a mobile chicane that just seems to be moving a bit too quickly. As Aiden runs wide there, I'm taking a break in the 2014 line. Ooh. And was thankful not to touch the grass and follow what Raikkonen did and absolutely smash it against the opposite wall. He's still in 8th place with his teammate for backup. Baz is dropping off from that train now, getting caught by Mr. John. And Dom's just behind the McLaren in 12th. And I'll tell you what, Mike is pushing a little bit now. He's getting away from the 2 cars behind. He's starting to close in on the leader. The gap is down to 2 seconds. As I think Goings might have just made a little mistake there. He did. He's lost half a second. Gap now 1 point. Sir Lennox just struggling to keep up. And Jack, well, I said one of them needed to make a move. And it looks like Mike has decided to listen to the commentator and go for it.
Yeah, indeed.
Meanwhile, Erland and Wace are nearly nose to tail as we've got a yellow flag out and it's Jacko off again. I've lost count of how many times that McLaren's been faced the wrong way tonight, I'm afraid. As Mike sets fastest up of the race for 1:45.289. And, well, there's no team orders at Sauber, that's for sure, because James just got past Aiden. Aiden's fought back through to take 8th again. And Erland's had a messy section or something because he's lost time to Wace, and Joe is now having a look at the inside to turn 1.
That's brave.
Oof, that could have got a bit close there. As he's run wide. That's surely going to let the 2 Saubers through.
Oh.
In fact,
that could have easily have ended in a broken front wing there, but Aiden is now through into 7th place. And
if Joe was trying to be Jack's rear gunner, he definitely just messed it up there.
He's the failed Valtteri Bottas, there you go, it's been said. But yeah, Aiden is now closing right on the back of Erland. And knowing Aiden, he will throw it up the inside somewhere. We'll keep an eye on that battle, but yeah, Mike is absolutely pushing. He is now only 1.5 behind Goings. And just look at the lines.
As Goings is going round. Oh, he's just held it.
Oh, Mike!
Oh my goodness.
I like that. Goings is going round. I like that. Yeah, but Mike is now half a second now behind the race leader. Could we see Mike on the Mike take the victory? That would be something.
I'll tell you what, that's not the first time Goings was almost going round there. He had a moment there on the last lap, lost half a second, and now the top 4 are almost nose to tail because that little moment and Mike having to back up a little bit just to prevent an accident has allowed Lennox to close in and Jack to close in, although the gap between the top 4 and the rest of the field is pretty high. It's a 9.5 second gap already, and Erland just is now holding up Bart Dude as well in 6th. The gap between Erland and 6th and Wace is now 2 seconds. Joe struggling to keep up with that as well, so that little Trilly train has come to an end. And has now started to break out into, well, more of I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that, to be honest. So let's ignore it and carry on with the battle for the lead. Goings only half a second clear of Mike Noon.
Yeah, no, Mike's really got the hammer down now. He was what, three 3 seconds or so behind Goings a couple of laps ago. So I wonder if Goings is having a little bit of tyre trouble, maybe, with all that spinning up of the tyres. But Mike seems to have stabilised the gap now, as he runs a little bit wide, as Bart Dude has got past Erland up into 6th place.
And here we go, Goings tidier that. No, it's going again. It's going again. I was just about to say, Goings got around that corner better this time, and then at the next corner he started to lose it. I was just going to say, you know, what, lap 8 now, 13, the rain's still falling down. The tyre wear does start to affect the grip as you get later into the race. I think I recall on last year's game, wet tyres didn't even last the full 25% race. If I remember right, the front runners started to come into major trouble in the last few laps. One of them actually had a puncture and lost himself a 2nd place from where the tyre just let go due to wear. So it could be a possibility that Goings' tyres are starting to go, as you saw for 3 laps running in the Maggotts and Beckett section of the track. The Toro Rosso just starts to spin out a little bit and he has to save it.
Yeah, if he makes that same mistake this lap, Mike will be right on the back of him to take advantage. We will see.
Oh, and there's a scrap going on for 5th. Wace is off the track, Aiden's through, and we got Erland and Joe involved there as well. I think Aiden just making the move on Wace, Wace diving up the inside to try and save the position and just running on, and Aiden just being smart, letting it play out in front of him and taking the place back. He's now in clear air, but 13 seconds off the next car, which is his title rival, Jack. So you'd have to say that's going to be as good as it's going to get for Bart Dude today, unless some major drama happens in the top 4 in the last 5 laps. And as we say many times here, anything can happen in TGP, and it usually does. Like Mike getting a penalty and the leader spinning and them coming together. Oh my god, I cursed it. I utterly cursed it. So Lennox leads from Jack Pearson. Goings is down to 3rd. Mike, who just got a time penalty just before, is now down to 4th.
What is going on tonight? What is going on? I think I missed. I just caught the end of that. I'm not sure. I'm assuming Goings lost it again.
Yep, indeed he did. He started to lose the back end, and Mike just had nowhere to go and just went straight into the side of the Toro Rosso, keeping it from spinning, keeping the Toro Rosso from spinning, but ruining both their races in the process. And it's now Zalanex, who's performed so well tonight and been unlucky in the first race. You'd have to say maybe it's his to lose, because Jack was never looking like threatening him early on. As Mike is off at turn 1, where is Goings? They're side by side into the... Mike's having a look at the inside again. He's tagged him again.
Oh,
dear
Mike. I think he's might be a bit annoyed at that incident, but that's no way of going about it.
Yeah, the move wasn't on there. They were both running wide by the looks of it. The first corner, Mike ran wide. Goings went up the inside. Mike, out of frustration and anger maybe, just tried to dive it back in, and all it's done is just split them apart. Well, they've gone together. The lead 4 is now a lead 2. They've split apart, and Mike is now at the head of another forming train, you know?
Yeah.
They're all starting to close together again, and it could be a nightmare for Mike with his damage, because that could easily see him down as low as P9 on the lap before. He's looking good to win the race.
Should be interesting through Cops here. Yeah, he's well off the circuit.
Well off the circuit. And now the championship leader looks to take another spot.
Yeah, but surely won't be too long now before... Well, you know Mike will put up a fight, but... You would think that... Bart Dude Aiden will surely go for the move if he gets the opportunity. As PSN seems to be playing up again, but... We are still broadcasting, which is good. As we still have Sir Lane in the lead, a couple of laps to go now. Hopefully PSN holds up until the end of the race. because this could be pretty interesting, especially with Mike and Aiden going at it for that 4th place. And yeah, Jonas, Mike is really struggling.
Yeah, I'd have to say I'm surprised Bardude has not gone for it yet for 4th. Maybe he's just waiting for the right moment to strike. Mike clearly struggling as oh, you could just see there the Ferrari just cannot stay on the circuit in the corners with that damage. As I'm just losing my voice a bit there. Aiden's surely got to get a good run here.
Yep, but I said before, Mike will not make this easy at all. But surely that's not. He's actually. He's definitely well off the circuit now. Can Aiden? Oh, I thought they were going to go side by side there. But running wide, there's definitely giving Mike a bit of an advantage speed wise.
Out of interest, I've noticed Aiden was backing off a little bit when Mike ran wide. I think he's just playing the long-term game and just taking it easy. I think he knows he's going to get through it eventually, and there's not really much in the way of opportunity ahead due to the gaps. So he's just letting it play out, letting Mike make mistakes, and just taking the position at the right moment. It's pretty much a example of how far Aiden's come since his debut in TGP, where he was a bit crash heavy. He did like to get in battles that maybe he shouldn't have got into, but now he's matured a lot in his racing, and it's definitely showing with the way he's performing this season, as he just stays behind Mike. As you see Mike run on again, there we are, and he just stays behind and just waits for the moment to arrive where he will surely take 4th place.
Yeah, I'm just wondering though, Aiden will have been told that the car in front has a penalty, because I'm sure Mike has a penalty, doesn't he? So
yes,
maybe,
indeed he does.
Maybe that's what Aiden's doing, just staying behind, not risking it. As you say, normally the past Aiden would just throw it up the inside, as he does there. Oh, but there's not really much. He's not really going to lose out, Aiden, by staying behind Mike at the moment, although he does have Waste closing in.
Yeah, and Waste is bringing 3 others, including Erlan, Joe and James. They're just slowly coming into the fight here.
Oh.
It's the penultimate lap, and Aiden's going up the inside, hitting the cops. That's a brave move. And it's a brave move.
Oh.
He's got a bit of a tank stuck on the exit, and they're side by side towards Maggots and Beckett.
Keep it clean, boys. I can just see something that. Oh, good. Wow, Mike. I told you not give that up.
Some beautiful drive from both there, even with the damage. Mike just playing it clever as to make contact, and I instantly jinx it as Aiden's passed by Waste, and now Erlan's going to have a look as well. It's all gone wrong. Oh, the championship leader all of a sudden. The slightest bit of contact, it's all falling apart again. Aiden. As he tries to go running outside of Waste and gets hit, and now the Toro Rosso's going through and takes the position for P6. Aiden has another look back down the inside, and Waste is having a look at Mike now. As Erlan's gone round, contact with Joe, contact with James. It's all kicking off again here at Silverstone.
There's so much happening, it's hard to keep track of all this, but yeah, Aiden is now down behind Waste. He'll be.
And Erlan is now in a battle with Dom and Baza for P11. It's all gone wrong for him again. And Dom gets a penalty for ignoring yellow flags. I think he's passed Erlan under a yellow or something. And now we have yet another tricky train on the last lap, led by Mike this time, as Waste has cut the inside of the track there onto the Winter Straight. That might just cause him a bit of trouble.
Yeah, indeed.
You know what?
Well, you know
Gia
what?
Petty has got back into this fight. Having been right at the back of the field, he's fighting back up the order. And we just wonder if something will happen in his last lap. It's worth pointing out, meanwhile...
Mike's off! Sorry to interrupt you.
You just can't leave this fight. He's lost 2 places there.
Yep, Aiden's through it, and so is Waste. Yeah, you're right, you cannot leave this battle for 2 seconds. It's Chiapelli and Joe. Sorry,
they're side by side. They touch wheels. They touch wheels into Maggots and Beckett, and they're still side by side. And Chiapelli takes the move. Wow, and now Waste and Aiden are side by side, coming down the hangar straight on the last lap. I mean, I apologise. Zalanek has crossed the line to win. He takes the win by 2.4 from Jack, who finished second. Goins is going to take third. And let's watch the fight for 4th. Aiden takes it, surely, as Mike gets past. I think Waze is out of fuel. He is.
Yes, oh no.
Aiden takes P4 from the back of the grid, 16th place. Aiden takes 4th place and will likely limit the damage to his championship lead. Mike, well, he was going to be 5th. He's got a penalty as he crashes across the line. Chiapelli takes 5th. Joe takes 6th. Mike is down to 7th, facing the wrong way without a wing. 8th for James, right for Mr. John. Ernan takes 10th. Waze has plummeted down to 11th position, having run out of fuel, and has left the session. That's a 12th ahead of Dom, and that will surely leave just Michael Kenny, who's either taken it easy or has run out of fuel. I can tell you, he's out of fuel in 14th. Jacko all the way down to 15th and last. Well, out of the finishes anyway, with Bossman Sean's early DNF. What a crazy Grand Prix.
Yeah, that was one of the craziest TGP2 races I think I've seen in a long while. That was absolutely brilliant stuff. But yeah, on the championship front, Aiden will be well pleased with that start from the back of the grid up to 4th in the end, so limits the damage done. But there we go, Sirlane has been very unlucky but finally does get that victory, and a well deserved one at that.
Yep, first win of the season for him, first win of the season for the Force India team, and you have to say on his performances tonight he probably deserves maybe a second win after Japan. He looked best there, but it fell apart for him. But it's good to see him take the top step of the podium, which I think his performances tonight definitely deserved.
Yeah, no. We'll do a quick final rundown for them. Sirlane takes the victory from Jack Pearson in 2nd. Goings finishes in 3rd, with Bart Dude up from 16th to finish 4th. Chiapelli, great recovery, up into 5th place, with Joe in 6th. Mike will be disappointed with that in 7th. Then we have James in 8th. McLaren, who was that again? I can't remember. Erland will finish in...
That would be Mr. John.
Mr. John, yep. And Erland will round out the top 10 then, John. So, yeah, it was... Apart from the technical difficulties, that was a pretty good night of racing, would you say?
Indeed, for the drama, for the very interesting battles, some thrilling wheel-to-wheel action all the way through to the last lap of the 3rd race here. And you'd have to say, this championship just keeps yo-going back and forth between the two protagonists, just like actual F1. As soon as Aiden takes the advantage, Jack just takes a little bit back after the incident for Aiden in qualifying, but he's recovered well and has limited that damage, so it's all still up in the air at the top of the championship, and the battle's all the way through the field. Just, you can never take your eyes off anything in this championship.
Yeah, indeed, and this battle is likely to continue next week, where we are at Azerbaijan, Italy and Singapore, so they're bound to produce some epic battles and racing. So, yeah, thank you guys. I think John will see you next week. So, thank you for joining us. Sorry about the technical difficulties, but from Jonos and I, it's goodbye.
Have a good evening, everyone.